What's up, y'all? Hope you're doing well. Ooh, don't I look thin? Much to talk about, much to discuss. Don't even know where to start. Music is going so well, and I couldn't be more thankful. It is so... I'm good at this, right? I'm pretty good at this. And a huge element of the adventure is that I get to be around some of the most cool people I could ever imagine. A friend of mine had me play venue recently, and it was such an incredible honor and experience. And I can't say yet what's come of it, but you'll see soon enough, and I'm so thankful for that. I think a good sign that you truly love music and are an authentic musician is that you love seeing people play. My friend Shaky, oh my gosh. He was playing last night, and when he smashes, like, man, when someone plays with soul, it moves you. Because I'm hanging out backstage, and he starts in, and I'm like, wow. It's an honor to witness somebody like that. Now we have to talk about some negative things. And I wish I didn't have to talk about this, because I want things to be going better for our Lord. And it's some things are so self-evident to me that it blows my mind when I hear of news like this. As a Catholic, I don't believe in palpable infallibility. That is to say, the Pope is not infallible. He can make mistakes. So, from what I have been notified about, there's these things that are happening that are just not okay. And I'm gonna step on some toes here, but if you're going to truly say the truth, that's what comes with the territory. I am a Latin Mass lady. I'm kind, and I understand my Novus Ordo brothers and sisters. But there's not a question in my mind, soul and heart, that communion in the hand is an attack on the divinity of Christ. People will talk to me, and this has happened so many times now that I have to say something about it, is that, and I find it with people who they want to, but they question themselves. If your faith isn't your identity and the strongest thing about you, this world's going to take you down. Okay? Because once people get to talking to me on a deep level and they find out how real I am, they go, oh. And it's like there's this confusion laid on them. And I see this in the Novus Ordo side, where they go, well, I believe in God, but there's this element of doubt. Where is this doubt coming from? I'll tell you where it's coming from. It's coming from the Novus Ordo side. That isn't to say that there aren't people on that side who aren't good Catholics. That's not what I'm saying at all. But with what I've seen and what I've come to understand, it's that people are being robbed. And as we're seeing the uprising of the Latin Mass, it's because they're hungry. They're hungry. They want the truth. I can't blame anybody for that. Because I heard some things today, and that's not even lit. I was astounded at the poise and candor that this person had in delivering this this negative information about what the Pope has been up to, unfortunately. Pardon me. And if you don't care, you should care. He's the head of the church. The chair of Peter. He sits on the chair of Peter. You need to know that. You need to understand that. Because the church is the ultimate authority, not the government. On a brighter note, Daisy is doing fantastic. I think I've pretty much spoken about it, but she gets this thing called bumblefoot, and it's not nice. In fact, it's very not nice if you're a piggy mama and you want your little girl to be at her optimal best. And so I've just been going as hard as I can. She is clean to a T. She would give that bald guy, Mr. Clean, a run for his money. It's gloomy today, but it's very beautiful. I'm doing a lot better. Thank you for every kind word about me grieving my friend. It is important that we comprehend death as a transition and not finality. Because part of the reason that we get so upset about death is that in our natural mammalian way, we see this end, but it's not the end. This world is not all that there is. Let not your heart be troubled. And I have this when speaking to myself on the subject, because when my time comes, and none of us know when that time is, really, I owe my king this transition. I don't get to go home unless I go through it. And the beautiful thing about having that comprehension of everlasting life is that you don't have, this isn't all there is. A place where there's no more pain, nobody dies, there's no more hurt. You have perfect peace. And there's so much to be said about it that we don't entirely comprehend. I think that's why when I get so happy, like happy sometimes, because it says it in the catechism about having the foretaste of heaven, where I feel like I'm a child, and the most simple and pure things make me so happy. Because the thing about this world is that they want you to believe that you're going to have your happiness here and now. I don't think so. Because what, I'm supposed to become a famous musician and then I'll be happy here? I don't think so. Look at how famous people end up. There are good people like Jim Caviezel, but there are people who end up in rehabs. There are people who have 3 divorces. There are people who live such public lives that they don't have any private, they have no intimacy. And here's the kick. The best advice I can give you is to love your enemies. My heart has grown so tremendously. My compassion is so alive. My soul is so free in desiring the good for them. Because once you accept these things and you know that you're not the only perspective, is that there's so much that I don't see. Maybe that person behaved in that situation because of a reason I don't know or understand. My God knows that reason, but I don't. I'm just a creature. And I like to sing my songs. And I like to play my guitar. And I like to find extraordinary in the mundane, everyday things. I love a nice, simple cup of coffee. I like seeing my friends smile. And, the beautiful thing about that, what I just touched on a minute ago, is that to walk as children of the light, why is it like it's just these little things? What mentality does a child have? And it's so interesting because I've had this thing about Saint Therese lately. And she spoke of her little way and not needing these big, extraordinary things. And I think that's so freeing. Because here, in this reality, we're told that we need a big, fast, giant, blah, blah, blah. I'm just a human. I'm just a girl. And I think she knew what she was talking about. My name is Fair Lady. I love you.